Going on YouTube? T Movies here. Now, here is my throwback segment where I talk about the films that turns 10, 20, and even 30 this week. Alright, the film celebrating its 10th anniversary, we got the Tom Cruise film Oblivion. Now, this was directed by Joseph Kosinski, who will, of course, go on to direct Top Gun Maverick, which pretty much revived the movie-going experience and stuff like that, and revived the movie theaters, and pretty much saved the theater going as well. And this, of course, had the likes of Morgan Freeman, Olga Kurylenko, Andra Riseborough, Nicola Costaguado, and it's a love story set in 27/7, and on Earth desolated by an alien war, and a maintenance technician on the verge of completing a mission finds a woman who's arrived a spaceship crash, leading him to question his discovery, the truth about war and stuff. And I gotta say, Oblivion is not a great film. It's nowhere near as good as the most recent Top Gun Maverick was or anything like that. But Oblivion was a really decent sci-fi flick. Tom Cruise I thought was great. Of course, he is pretty much one of the most major movie stars right now. With the likes of Top Gun Maverick, he of course has the next Mission Impossible coming out, and Tom Cruise was really awesome. Morgan Freeman was great. The effects was decent. If you guys have not really seen Oblivion, I'll say give it a go. You might enjoy it or you might not enjoy it. Either way. Alright, guys. Okay. Also turning 10, we've got Disconnect. Now, Disconnect has a really good cast. You had the likes of Jason Bateman, Alexander Skarsgård, Frank Grillo was also in this. And if you guys don't know much about the story here, it follows like the stories of like a disparate group of people as they go interact online via social media and the internet. You have one story where like a student is bullied on social network. A woman seeks comfort via an internet forum. A young man works for like a webcam service and stuff. And I tell you right now, if you guys have not seen Disconnect, there's actually another movie that was similar to this that came out a year prior with Adam Sandler in it. Which I think was called Man, Woman, and Children. Really good little film. I'll probably talk about that next year. But if you guys have not seen Disconnect, do yourself a favor, go watch it. Disconnect is so darn good, man. I mean, this movie really shows the dangers of like social media and how tight social media could get and everything. And I mean, there's of course one storyline where Jason Bateman, his character's son, is getting like catfish online by these douchebags, stuff like that, and he ends up pretty much attempting suicide, and of course Jason Bateman goes straight lengths to find who did this and stuff like that, who like catfished his son, and boy, this movie gets crazy throughout. I mean, if you guys have not seen Disconnect, it's very underrated. I remember watching this in theaters, and I did not really know what to expect out of it, but it was intriguing. Very intense. Really showcased Jason Bateman's acting. Whenever you think of Jason Bateman, obviously you think of Horrible Bosses, you think of Identity Thief. But man, this movie really, he's done drama before. Obviously, he did The Kingdom and all. But I gotta say, this movie is actually the film that really made me become a fan of Jason Bateman's, dramatic. This film really made me be a fan of Bateman's like acting talents and really. Sorry, my car fell. Sorry, guys. Give me for a few seconds. Right. Anyway, as I was saying, Disconnect is definitely very intense right there, and really showcase how dangerous the internet could be. And Bateman was really terrific, so definitely give that one a go. All right. Also turning 10, we got Philly Brown, which stars Gina Rodriguez, along with Lou Diamond Phillips, Edward James Olmos, It also was the last movie featuring famed Mexican singer Jenny Rivera. And this was actually the movie that really put Gina Rodriguez on the map, in my opinion. If you guys don't know much about the story here, Tanararo is a talented hip hop artist who is offered a record deal from a sleazy producer, and she faces a difficult choice between selling out for the money or staying true to herself and her music. And I tell you right now, Gina Rodriguez was terrific in this. Like I didn't really know much about her before I saw this film, but then I saw it and I thought she's definitely a star to reckon with. Jay Rivera, who I kid you not, I even thought should have gotten some award love because I thought Jay Rivera was amazing in this. It was really nice to see a Santa Deliver reunion with Lou Diamond Phillips and Edward James Olmos. That was really cool to see. I mean, the rap scenes in this is really treating. Give this one a go if you guys haven't seen it. Also turning 10. Now the following week I talked about one of Rob Zombie's films that celebrates 10th anniversary, or 20th I should say. And now here's talking about another Rob Zombie movie, and that is The Lords of Salem. And before The Munsters came out, this was actually the major Rob Zombie movie I truly dislike. I know the cool thing is you hate on Rob Zombie's work and everything like that. I'm one of the rare folks who actually like Rob Zombie movies. I really like, House of 10,000 Corpses. I don't mind his Halloween films. His recent Monsters movie, though, that's a different story. But Lords of Salem, it had a good cast too. You, of course, had obviously his Rob Zombie, so obviously his wife is in this. You had Bruce Davison, Jeff Daniel Phillips, Ken Foree, Meg Foster, and all. And the plot focuses on a troubled female disc jockey in Salem, Massachusetts, whose life becomes entangled with a coven of ancient Satan worshipping women. And this movie is terrible. I was bored out of my mind with this film. I thought, I don't mind Cherry Moo Zombie, but her performance in this wasn't great. Really showed, it just was not a good film at all. And I just thought this was absolutely terrible. It was so boring. I still have no idea what the heck was going on with this. I mean, yeah, it's just not a good film. Alright, film's turning 20 now. Oh boy. The film celebrating its 20th anniversary, we got Bulletproof Monk. Of course, starring Chow Yun-fat, Sean William Scott, Jamie King. Here's what the film is about if you guys haven't been out. For 60 years, a mysterious monk with no name played by Chow Yun-fat. What happened to Chow Yun-fat? I feel like he doesn't do anything anymore, but anyway. Who has zigzagged the globe to protect an ancient scroll, a scroll that holds the key to unlimited power. Now the monk look for a new scroll keeper, Carl, played by Sean William Scott, who's an unlikely candidate, who's a streetwise young man whose only interest is in himself. And Bulletproof Monk is actually a fun little film. Obviously Sean William Scott, whenever you think of him, you always think of Steve Stifler from American Pie and everything. But I really quite like when Sean William Scott did these buddy action movies, whether it was The Rundown with Dwayne Johnson, or whether, he did do Southland Tales with Dwayne Johnson, which was terrible too. But yeah, I mean, I thought Sean William Scott was pretty fun in this. His chemistry with Chow Yun-fat was pretty fun. Jamie King was really great. Who else was in this? Oh yeah, you had Mako was also in this. Roger Hyun, some really good cast members. So give this one a go if you guys haven't seen that. All right. Also turning 20, we got Chasing Papi, directed by Linda Mendoza, starring Rosalind Sanchez, as well as Sofia Vergara, Fred Rodriguez, D.L. Hughley, Ian Gomez. And it's about the women discover that their boyfriend has been dating all three of them at the same time, a discovery that leads them on an adventure throughout LA, California. And this movie is pretty dumb, but it's actually a pretty fun comedy there. Of course, this was actually one of the movies that really put Sofia Vergara on the map before, obviously, Modern Family fame kicked in. Rosa Sanchez was pretty good in this. Really fun comedy if you guys haven't seen it. Alright, also turning 20, we got Christopher Guest's A Mighty Wind, which is yet another Christopher Guest mockumentary comedy following the likes of This Is Spinal Tap, Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show. And he's actually married to Jamie Lee Curtis, which I totally forgot they were actually married. That's pretty cool right there. And the cast is insane. Like, we're talking Eugene Levy, Christopher Guest. You also had Catherine O'Hara, Michael McCain, Fred Willard, Ed Bagley Jr., Jennifer Coolidge, Jane Lynch. And the film is about folk music reunion concert in which, like, three folk band reunite for their for television and compose, and of course, like, for a television performance for the first time in decades. And yeah, Mighty Wind is actually not like Christopher Guest's best work or anything like that, but it's actually a really decent film. Like, Eugene Levy's great, Christopher Guest is great, the late great Fred Willard is always amazing, Jennifer Coolidge is great, really decent cast members and everything. So, like I said, it's nowhere near as good as This Is Spinal Tap or Best in Show or anything like that. But it is a really decent film worth checking out, and really showcase the music industry. Well, pretty fun. Alright, also turning on 20, my favorite one, and that is the film adaptation of the book Hose. Now, Hose is about a boy named Stanley Ipkiss, played by Shia LaBeouf, who is wrongfully sent to a brutal camp where the camp warden and her staff force the children in their care to mysteriously dig holes all day long in the desert. You also had, like, this was, of course, like Shia LaBeouf, I believe it was like pre-Even Stevens, if I'm not mistaken. And you also had the likes of John Voight, Sigourney Weaver was also in this, Tim Blake Nelson, Henry Winkler. And it was directed by Andrew Davis, who's best known for directing The Fugitive, Under Siege, Collateral Damage, Above the Law. So it's always really interesting that Andrew Davis, the guy who gave us action movies like The Fugitive, the Steven Seagal movies like Under Siege and Above the Law, was the one who directed a Disney movie like Hose. I always found that to be interesting. I remember, watching this movie back in, I believe, I'm trying to remember when I first saw this. Probably third grade, maybe third grade or fourth grade at the time. I was pretty young when I saw this, and I loved Hose. I thought it was really intriguing, very intense. The flashback scenes with Patricia Arquette and Dylan Hill was great. The camp, performances by Sigourney Weaver was really terrific. John Voight was great in this. Really awesome film if you guys ever seen that. And obviously, it is, of course, based on a book, which I remember literally reading in high school at the time, or not high school, in school at the time. And we, of course, obviously, had to do a book report. And you think I actually read the book? Now I just did saw the movie. So yeah, that's how you do it, kids. Anyway, all right. Also turning 20, we got Malibu's Most Wanted. Now, starring Jamie Kennedy, you had Anthony Anderson, Taye Diggs, Regina Hall, Blair Underwood, Damon Dante Wayans, Bo Derek, Snoop Dogg, Big Boy, Terry Crews, Cal Penn, Nick Swartzen, and it's about the son of a wealthy politician who's played by the politician, of course, played by Ryan O'Neal, and his son is Brad Gluckman, played by Jamie Kennedy, who tries to illuminate urban street culture and aspires to be a rapper here. And of course, his daughter hires two African American actors, Sean, played by Taye Diggs, and PJ, played by Anthony Anderson, to pose as gang members and introduce the naive youth to the real ghetto life. Yo, I love Malibu's Most Wanted. Jamie Kennedy. Obviously, whenever you think of Jamie Kennedy, you think of Randy from the Scream films. Son of the Mask. Yeah, Son of the Mask is horrible. It's such a shame that I feel like Son of the Mask really screwed up with poor Jamie Kennedy's career. It's a shame because I love Jamie Kennedy. And his YouTube, like I always love seeing his like YouTube videos, stuff like that. Jamie Kennedy is awesome. But yeah, Malibu's Most Wanted is really fun. And of course Tate Diggs and Anthony Harrison was great in this. The humor was fun. I mean, if you guys have never really seen Malibu's Most Wanted, do yourself a favor, go watch it. It is a really fun early 2000s comedy. All right. Now, films celebrating their 30th anniversary, we got the Johnny Depp classic, Benny and Joon. Of course, starring Mary Stuart Masterson. You also had Oliver Platt, William H. Macy, Julianne Moore, C.C.H. Pounder, Elaine Ryan. And the film is about two eccentric individuals, Sam and Jupiter Joon, played by Johnny Depp and Mary Stuart Masterson, who find each other and fall in love here. Aidan Quinn also stars. Really decent little rom-com, or romantic drama, I should say. Johnny Depp I thought was really good in this. So if you guys haven't seen it, give that one to go. Alright. Also turning 30, we got Bowling Point, which stars Wesley Snipes, as well as the likes of Dennis Hopper, Viggo Mortensen, Seymour Cassel, Paul Gleason, Jonathan Banks, Tobin Bell, and in it, Red, who's an aging con artist, is released from prison together with the easily led Ronnie, a young hoodlum, when their last scam leads to the death of a U.S. Secret Service agent. The man's partner vows revenge, but he is told he only has 1 week to snare the killers before it's too late. Wesley Snipes had a really interesting career in the 90s. He literally teamed up with living legends in the 90s. He teamed up with Sean Connery in Rising Sun, I think it was called. He also teamed up with Dennis Hopper here. So, talk about a cool career Wesley Snipes had back in the 90s. But this was a really fun, 90s action feel. Wesley Snipes was great in this. Dennis Hopper was fun. I mean, it's, R.I.P. Dennis Hopper. He was a living legend. Whether you talk about Speed, Easy Rider, and all. Dennis Hopper was great in these type of stuff. And, of course he was, he was, of course, at an old age at the time, and he really showcased, that just because you're getting old does not mean you don't have what it takes anymore. So, if you guys have not really seen Bowling Point, give it a go. It's a really fun flick. Alright, also turning 30, we got Blood in Blood, which stars Damon Chapa along with Benjamin Bratt, Billy Bob Thornton, Delroy Lindo, Danny Trejo, Valentin Rodriguez, who you might remember as Ernie from George Lopez fame, Ving Rhames was also in this, Thomas F. Wilson, aka Biff from Back to the Future fame. It is a crime film directed by Ray director Taylor Hackford. And it follows the intertwining lives of three Chicano relatives from 1972 to 84. They start out as members of a street gang in East LA, and as a dramatic incident occurs, their lives and friendships are forever changed. Blood in Blood was filmed in 1991 throughout the Spanish-speaking areas in LA. And this was actually a really intriguing film. Benjamin Bratt, obviously best known for Law and Order fame, Star fame, and all. He was really great in this. Billy Bob Thornton was great, very intense, great performances there. Definitely give that one a go if you guys haven't seen it. But that's pretty much it there. Let me leave it to you guys. Which of these films stand out to you the most? The 10-year one is not the Tom Cruise Oblivion film. That movie was good, but that's not really the film that stands out to me the most. Sorry about that. The film that says actually me the most 10-year one, I'm gonna go with Disconnect. That's the better film in that list. The 20-year one, I'm gonna go with Hose. I used to watch Hose as a kid. It's kind of a childhood favorite of mine. I mean, I love Malibu's Most Wanted, but I can't go wrong with Hose. And the 30-year one, not anything too stand out, but I'll probably say Bowling Point. That's probably the better film in that list. But drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Simon signing off.